Hi, I'm Josh Lambert, a product manager here at GitLab, and today I'd like to talk about what we are working on for the memory group in the 13.3 release, which will be released on August 22nd of this year. If you've followed us in the past releases, one area that we've been working on is to help improve the visibility we have into the operational characteristics of GitLab applications out in the wider field. So the instances that our customers run, we'd like to understand basic characteristics, like how much memory is it consuming, how many CPUs are on a particular box, and how many requests can that node actually handle. This can give us a better idea of how the application is performing and where we should target our investments in the future. We have support for this today with single node instances, and we're starting to get back some data now, which is proving to be helpful for, again, further work. And we'd like to take that single node work and expand it to also support multi-node setups as well. The challenge with multi-node is that the Prometheus server could be on any of those nodes that have been deployed. And so we need to figure out for a given Rails server where we should go to try and find and query that Prometheus server. And so we're going to start looking at using console to help us do this. And that way it works out of the box without requiring further configuration, provided you are using the GitLab Omnibus embedded console server. We're also working to create dashboards to help us visualize the information and better understand what we're seeing for the single node information that's coming back today. Moving on forward, we're looking at executing on performance improvements as well with memory reductions too. And one area that we found is that we found a particular pain point here with the cache SQL calls. These queries can help to reduce database load, but they still do consume a fair amount of memory and CPU time. We're essentially going to recommend treating them across a wider organization as N+1 like queries, so we can find them, find the worst offenders, and just continue to optimize them and remove them. We actually had some progress here on 13.2 with a particular endpoint, the notes endpoint for the controller. And you can see here some of the results. And we actually had pretty impressive performance improvements. Right now, we had around a 23,000 count of the calls that are made. This resulted in about 45 megs of memory being allocated. And I'm sorry, actually 82 megs are being allocated. And then in the working branch that we have, hopefully it gets merged with 13.2. If not, it will be in 13.3. You can see we've had memory consumption, and we've also significantly reduced more than half the total retained memory. And you can see we also significantly reduced the number of calls as well for the database. So all in all, a significant improvement. And also you can see here the overall time it took to complete is also significantly reduced as well. So great improvement here, really high impact. And we'll be continuing to replicate the work we did here with the nodes controller to other of the kind of worst performing cache SQL endpoints going forward in 13.3. Really excited about this one and how much impact it has. Moving from there, we're also working on a bit more of a proof of concept here for dynamic image resizing support. One thing we have found is that one of the big drivers of the slower performance on the user side is actually in the front end side, not necessarily in the back end side. Although you can see we're also, as I mentioned earlier, focusing on improving that as well. But one of the areas is that we actually send quite a lot of data down to our users and in the form of images. And we aren't doing a very good job of shrinking the images that we offer to our users before sending them on the wire. And this results in increased bandwidth, but also increased processor power required on the end user's browser to actually resize the images down to the actual size that they're displayed on the screen. For example, avatars can be uploaded up to 200K in size, even though often we're showing just very, very, very tiny images of them. And on pages like the commit history or comments, where we show a lot of different avatars, they can significantly impact the performance of the page. And so we're going to go ahead and work to offer dynamic image resizing, so the front-end team can simply request a particular size, and the backend will automatically resize the image down to that size, delivering a image that does not need to be resized and also is significantly less in bandwidth as well. So we have taken a look at some options. We currently like the image proxy service, and we'll go ahead and work on a proof of concept to help us understand how that service works, its operational characteristics, and get a better idea of some of the cost involved in terms of CPU of resizing, in terms of reductions in transfer rate, and other information, so you can build a better idea of what we're seeing here. And then we'll work to continue to improve this over the next few releases with things like improving, adding caching support along the way. We'll likely roll this out on GitLab.com initially, start to get some of this information with only a small percentage of requests as we continue to improve this. But overall, excited about the opportunity here and being able to deliver this not only to GitLab.com, but also to all of our customers as well. One final area that the team is working on is internally focused. So this is not something that currently we're looking to deliver to customers, but it's going to improve some internal development practices of GitLab, and that is to improve how we currently use feature flags. Right now, we tend to add these and we gate feature functionality behind them, as you typically do, but we don't have a central place to track them, understand when they should get removed from the code base, and overall managing these feature flags. And so essentially, this is a growing form of tech debt that we need to manage. So Camille is working on this, where we can start to actually have a YAML file definition in the first iteration here, so we can track what it is, what the default is, who owns it, and also when we should target removal of the feature flag when we no longer need it. And this can help us clean up these flags when we no longer need them, so we don't have this ever-expanding matrix of configuration options. So this is the great work for us internally, and once we have this format a little bit more improved, we'll also be working to contribute this back to the larger feature flag functionality in GitLab, so that we can allow all of our customers to benefit from. And with that, that is the major items we're working on delivering here in the 13.3 release. We are very excited about them. Again, laying the foundation for better understanding where we should target our efforts in the future, some significant performance and memory reductions on the backend side with the cache SQL queries, as well as also working to improve the front-end performance as well by offering resized images, so we can reduce the work the browser has to do and the amount that has to be transferred over the wire. Thank you so much. We are super excited and can't wait for this release, and stay tuned for all the great improvements we're working on next release as well. Thanks.